How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I'm very excited to check out the second Superman in the Reign of Superman series from Mafex. Mafex number 164, Cyborg Superman. We've got some hands. We've got a blaster effect. He's looking tough. I'm wondering if he's taller than either Superman Returns or maybe even Superman Hush. We'll check that out. Flying. That looks dope, man. He's got his blaster. Let's get him out. Quick look at Cyborg Superman inside of the blister, outside of the package. Stand in the back. Extremely flowing cape. Fresh out of the blister. What I wanted to show you was Mafex figures come with a lot of plastic to keep it safe from rubbing. And that plastic comes out really, really simply. Just move the torso around a little bit and pull. Drop down hip and just kind of like pull. Drop down hip. Wow, he is a sturdy feeling fig. And there we go. Quick first impressions with this guy. There's something going on with the cape here where we have what looks like, I guess, you know, for lack of a better term, shoulder pads that rest underneath the cape. And certainly the intended purpose would be to tuft and fluff the cape out. But I've never seen that before with capes. So it's unfamiliar to me. If you've seen it before, I'd love to hear about it, your experiences with it. It's not too tough to work with, as you can see, because the wire in the cape is very, very strong. It's very thin, very strong. You can just kind of like tuck it under, but it gives it a very nice bunched up look there at the shoulders for this extremely large cape. It's not as large as the Batman Hush, but the span here is about 10 inches. So there's a whole lot of cape. You've got the ironed on Superman emblem. And he is looking tough. Quick look underneath the cape in the back. You can see both of those, you know, shoulder pieces. And a really well sculpted separation here between the human, I guess, portion of his torso and then the cyborg portion. I mean, even here, look at all that sculpting. I think that's really well done. The paint. Beautiful stuff. Quick little pose with the cape. Windswept. Look at the cyborg side of his face. I mean, the sculpting detail is superb. Awesome stuff. All right, let's jump into some quick early comparisons and get those out of the way. And for that, I'll bring out my Superman Hush from Mafex number 117. And quick eyeball test, they've got approximately the same stance there. Cyborg Superman definitely is winning in the height department there. We've definitely got slightly broader shoulders on Cyborg Superman. Longer legs from hip to heel. And I would say arms that are the same length. It seems as though Cyborg Superman's fist might be hanging a tad lower, but for the most part, the arms seem to be the same length. And we will bring in Mafex number 150, Return of Superman, and we'll get those guys joined up. And this is pretty much the same buck from Superman Hush in terms of the limbs and the torso. So the size is going to be comparable. And we see that Cyborg Superman does have him in the size department there also. Very, very nice. And last but not least, I'll bring out the amazing Yamaguchi Return of Superman, just so that we can get a sense for how they might scale together in case you're interested. And the Yamaguchi figs do run a bit larger than Mafex in general. And we see that reflected there. Very, very cool. So far, I have 2 of the members of the Reign of Superman line coming out from Mafex. And I am super excited to build out the entire collection. of this storyline. Heck yeah, very, very dope. All right, thank you, sir, for your service. All right, let's jump into some articulation, but just admire this cape one more time. I mean, this thing is awesome. No wires here in between the center portions of the cape, like we've seen in the Hush cape, for example. But nonetheless, it works really, really well. And it is not removable, in case you're wondering. It's actually underneath this pec plate that is on the torso. So, all right, let's look at articulation with our friend here. We've got extremely good range up. And so if you're wondering about how that translates into flight, that's what we've got going on. So we've got some good forward look while he's flying. Great look upward. Outstanding look downward. Very nice, man. I am really taken by all this metal silver. We've got a little bit of a hose or a wire sticking out here in the center of this upper arm. I mean, you have some really, really great detail throughout. Beautiful stuff, man. Look at this. Very, very nice. Everything moves very fluidly. All right, back to articulation. We've got great rotation. You've got tilt at the head. At the arms, you'll get way better than 90 degrees. No problemo. You do have your butterfly joint in there. Beautiful, smooth, full rotation. You've got your swivel. You've got the double jointed elbow. Beautiful stuff. And the universal ball joint. You've got the upper diaphragm cut. And I'm checking to see the likelihood of rub. And you would have to watch out here. Blue on blue. Less likely on the silver side because it's so hollowed out. Because it's so hollowed out here. But I would still be careful maybe with this abdominal muscle here, that you don't scratch it when you go down like that. But super smooth, great movement, full rotation. You're going to get tilt from the waist, from the diaphragm cut, and you can really bust a move. So really great, smooth articulation at the hips. You've got that drop down hip, and you're going to get a really good split. You've got some kick forward, and he can get his Michael Jordan on. Superman meets Superman. Very nice. We've got some wobble here at the hip on Mafex figures, and then you've got your double jointed knees with a universal ball joint at the ankles that will give you all kind of freaky movement. And you have a toe joint, even on the cybernetic leg. While we're down here, take a look at that sculpt, which I think looks absolutely great. You know, you've got some wash in between some of the crevices of the metal, and that just makes it look a little bit grimy and used. And I really like the unique sculpt on the foot. You know, they didn't just paint and kind of do some painty gimmicks over the old mold. These are all differently molded parts. Really, really nice. This figure, I like it. Super, super dope. Let's take a look at accessories. And we'll start out with his right arm blaster attachment. There we go. And this thing has more of that beautiful metallized paint. You've got some great black wash in between all of the little crevices. Got some more hoses here. These are somewhat pliable. I'd be careful. This one is also a little pliable. Be careful. But it looks absolutely great. Look at that. It has that really great machined vibe. We attach the blaster effects like so. And we've got that kind of look going on. I'll tuck that right there. We've got 4 additional pair of hands. So we've got the swap out flight hands, a cybernetic hand, and a organic hand. We've got the emotive hands, cybernetic and organic, right and left. These two are really cool because we've got that pointing number 1 right cybernetic hand, and then the organic flesh, the organic punching hand. And last but not least, we have another set of emotive hands, kind of like reaching out, grabbing. And I have them both here so you can see the difference. But very, very cool. Nice options. This is a stunning fig. Between him and Return of Superman, if I had to pick one that is my favorite, I think Superman Hush is an all-time great Superman. I don't know that there are many Supermen in the 1/12 scale that surpass this Superman, in my opinion. And I think he still retains that title, but I'm really digging this Superman. And I would put him at my number 2 over Mafex number 150, Return of Superman. So I'd go 1-2 right now, but this guy, man, definitely some recency bias with him. He is a stunner, an absolute stunner. A little side by side look there. Very, very nice. All right, nice little salute pose from Cyborg Superman. I am really caught with this cape. I know I've said it already, but look at that. It looks like an awesome napkin that you don't want to dirty by cleaning your messy face with. It's beautiful. He looks absolutely awesome. Heck yeah, let's try another pose. Simple little flight pose. With some nice sound effects, yes. And you know what? That bright red and yellow is popping. I hadn't commented on it yet, but just by comparison with the Hush, which is really, really dull, and this was the first version of Hush. It's not the second one, so I don't know if the second one is brighter in the belt or the inside of the emblem, but look at the difference, right? And that yellow is popping. The red in the emblem is popping. So just a little comparison take there. And let's wrap up today with one final comparison. And for that, we're going to bring out some super villains. For a sense of scale, I'm going to bring out my Storm Collectibles Dark Side. And technically, that is a 1/12 scale figure. So I'll give you kind of like a pan up there. And you can see that he's a behemoth. I think he stands at about 10 or 12 inches tall. And he is one of my favorite figs. One of the first figs I picked up back in 2020 when I started collecting again. And no regrets. He is awesome. I will also bring out another supervillain. I'll bring out General Zod from Man of Steel. I don't remember the toy line right now exactly, so forgive me for that also. And I really enjoy this figure. It's a very simple Marvel Legends style figure with much less articulation, I will say that. But it is a very nice General Zod, a very decent likeness of the actor, I will say. Got the scar there on the face. I will find him! I will find him! So yeah, we'll bring General Zod there. And I will also bring out a loose Lex Luthor that I picked up on eBay. Bring them a little closer so you can check them out. And I am completely and totally intending on doing a custom of this figure with a Krieg 13 body that I have. And I got the idea for that custom from a gentleman in the toy collector groups. Very, very cool. And last but not least for today, in terms of the supervillains, I will bring out my Brainiac figure. An action figure, or a character, I should say, that I don't think has been done enough times in action figure form. A terrible tragedy because he is a beast of a figure, lots of great mythology behind him and around him, and it would have been dope to have seen more iterations of him up until this point, but never give up hope. We could be getting some awesome Brainiacs in the future, but I will definitely add this very dope Brainiac to the lineup. And heck yeah. And you know what? Let me bring out my Mafex number 161, Superman from the Dark Knight Returns storyline. So we'll just kind of like pair them up so you can get a sense for scale. Another quick comparison now that I've got this Superman out, we can look at the brightness of the colors in the yellows and the red, in the trousers, the belt, and the Superman emblem. And you can see that it is much richer here on Cyborg Superman than it is on either Hush or the Superman from Returns. So just a nice color change there, I guess. And I do prefer the brighter colors more than the dull, muted colors that we have there. Very excited I have this guy building up my Mafex Superman collection. And this guy is very, very cool. As always, everybody, thank you so much for coming out to share the experience of collecting toys as an adult. And I hope you're able to keep coming back and share some experiences too. Until next time, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Take care.